Hey friends, just here in Virginia this week and laying on the beach, on Virginia Beach. I don't know if you've been here, but it is beautiful. About to start this week-long leadership training for work, but just came back from Burning Man. So I went straight from Burning Man to leadership training, which seems like a perfect combination. But my original plan was to kind of sit down and write about my experience at Burning Man, because it's really, really difficult to put into words how I feel after that experience. But I figured I'd try out this new video vlog as they say, see how this goes. It's a little bit like a diary, and I hope I can share most of my story with you. I was always very hesitant to go to Burning Man, and I think part of it was something that I needed to work through, was just my overwhelming need to be perfect and appear that way, and kind of have done that my entire life, and I don't know exactly why, but I've always just tried to go be this person that maybe didn't always represent exactly who I was. And something this year just kind of was drawing me in that direction, and I kept coming up with reasons why I shouldn't go, which is what probably most of us do in life. There's dogs and house and bills and money and work and family and plans, and we just kind of, me and Tyler decided to step away from all of that, and we canceled plans and bought tickets at the last minute and kind of put it out there for the universe to see if it would happen. And I was able to take the time off of work, and it worked perfectly. It was a week before Tyler's going to start his job, and I'm so glad we did it. It came together in one day, basically. We were at a cacao ceremony on a Wednesday night before Burning Man, and wasn't sure exactly what cacao was, but it was a really great focused experience, and at the end of all of that, I had just had all of these clear visions with my eyes closed about being at Burning Man, and just felt overwhelmed by the need to be there. So we kind of told our story at the end of that night and told everybody, that we wanted to go to Burning Man, and put it out there for the community. And within one day, somebody had overnighted us tickets. We found a camp. We collected all the stuff we needed and left on Saturday. We got to caravan with some really great friends out there, Vanessa, Eric, and all of their friends as well. And it was a long journey. It took us about, I want to say 20 hours about to get out there, because we stopped a little bit. And then once we got there, I could already feel kind of the energy there. And being not really a very spiritual person or very connected to that anymore, I was just overwhelmed with how excited people were. As we got there, there was about a 6-hour line, so you could just see people kind of getting into their outfits. I mean, I wouldn't even call it costumes. It was just people starting to get into their normal way of being. I saw one of the first things I saw was the bus right next to us. All of these guys got out of this, actually is a van that they had converted, and all these guys were in just normal kind of everyday outdoor clothes, and they immediately all changed into like dresses and muumuus and tutus, and put their hair up and started painting their nails, and it was just so exciting. I mean, me and Tyler sat in the car, kind of just didn't know what to do with ourselves, because we had never been in that environment, and it, like I said, took us about 6.5 hours to get in. And then once we got in, you have to also set up your camp. So no sleep for 2 days, last minute plans, 20 something hours to get in, and then we had to set up our camp. So we were exhausted, but one of the coolest experiences was when we got there, and you go through the gate. They do this really cool thing where they tell you to get out of the car, and they kind of hug you and tell you welcome home. They do kind of a Burning Man virgin ceremony where you have to get out and they make you roll around in the dust, which at first, because we're so used to the default world of being clean all the time, I was obviously hesitant. I didn't want to get my clothes dirty, and I had no idea how much it didn't matter. But we rolled around in the dust, got to ring this bell. That was such a cool experience because I feel so connected to that space now, and I'm really glad they welcomed us that way. Welcome home. You're no longer a virgin. You ring this bell, and you hear that bell ringing kind of for several days of people being welcomed into their home, of people that accept them with no judgment. And so anyway, once we get the camp set up, we actually decided to go out onto the playa, which is basically kind of the center camp. And in the center camp, they've got all these art pieces set up, and as soon as we got the camp set up, it had just turned, the sunset just turned into evening, and I can't even describe to you the feeling that I had it was absolutely stunning. I mean, things weren't even completely set up yet, but you get onto the playa and you're overwhelmed by how much art there is, how big it is, the energy that you get from people. People just immediately step into their humanity, and it's like this space where you're able to connect with who you actually are and who we're meant to be. We kind of biked around, we looked at a few art pieces, didn't really get to stop much because we were on our way to this place called the Apothecary, which was out on kind of the outskirts near the trash fence, and it was this beautiful art piece that had been done by one of our friends that ran our camp. We stayed in this camp called the Art Car Bus Stop. It was really cool. We got to go out there and check that out, kind of have this first evening where we didn't really know what to do with ourselves. So we ended up going back and kind of falling asleep at the end of that first night. But that's kind of the experience of our first day, and I'll go kind of in more detail with how that first day made me feel. I really I think I was hesitant. That was the feeling I got. All of this stuff started bubbling up to the surface of what are people going to think of me? What should I wear? Are people going to judge me? Or is somebody going to tell me I'm doing something wrong? And I saw people climbing on stuff, and I immediately was thinking, oh, they're going to fall, they're going to hurt themselves. All these things that you're taught. You're taught to be so afraid of the world and afraid to stand in your own skin. And me more than anybody, I just felt like it was so out of my element. I didn't know, honestly, that first night if this was the right decision. It took so long to get in there, and we were so stressed out and dusty, and I wasn't really ready for the dust. And just so you know, all of that went away completely in that week. And what I found most interesting is that you're put in this environment where you're forced to kind of succumb to the desert and to the space where you have to survive, you have to live kind of as a community, and that to me was one of the most magical things, was the sense of community and how people clothed me and fed me and washed me and talked to me, cared about me, and it wasn't just my friends, it was every single person that I came in contact with. Anyway, I'll do some more videos this week when I have time, but Burning Man was a life-changing experience, and I want to continue to do these these blogs because I have so much to work through and so many things to say, and it was beautiful and challenging and emotional, connecting. I got over so many hurdles emotionally and physically with my body. Did things that I would have never done in terms of kind of the boundaries that I've had in my life. And I can't wait to continue sharing my experience with you guys. I love you. I'm going to lay on the beach for a couple hours, and I'll talk to you soon. Mwah.